This streamer just ruined his $2 million kick deal before it even started. And you may recognize him as the person dubbed Lieutenant Dan, the guy who rode out 2 hurricanes in a small sailboat in Tampa, Florida. A couple weeks ago, Lieutenant Dan got a life-changing streaming deal and been given a chance to completely turn his life around, with massive support from people from all over the world, with everyone wanting him to succeed, hoping he had not wasted this opportunity. And that's exactly what he did. He wasted this opportunity. As the deal was announced on his first stream, within the first hour, he dropped the N-word.
But if you want to get back into my good graces, you're going to have to take time. It's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to be hard. Because once I cut you off, you're done. Sorry. Alright? That's it, you're done.
Realizing he made a grave mistake, he quickly apologizes. This situation has quickly devolved. He went from nothing to internet famous overnight, got a bunch of donations and a bunch of followers, but unfortunately for Joe, the more screen time he received, the more people realized he wasn't really like the Lieutenant Dan character from the movies. With his extensive criminal record coming to light, and his daughter coming out of nowhere saying the money coming to Joe, aka Lieutenant Dan, will likely be the end of him as he allegedly has some addiction problems.
Lieutenant Dan was doing just fine without all that money. Y'all TikTok famous people and all that, y'all blowing him up, and he gonna be dead before he can even enjoy that boat and stuff, because look at him. After y'all got a hold of him, and now he's high as on all these videos. Is it just weed? Is it just weed? Yes, I'm his daughter. I'm his daughter, and I've had to keep tabs on that man for 10 years trying to make sure that he's alive, and now he's gonna get all of this and probably end up dead because of it.
It's a little suspicious with people coming out and saying things like this to Joe.
Hey, tell Lieutenant Dan I got a gram for him. I think he get done. Tell Lieutenant Dan I got a gram for him. I think he get done.
He's streaming.
We had a gram, goddamn.
He on the kick streaming live. People love you though.
And it seems like Terrence and Aiden have finally spotted this. After Aiden announced that Joe would be getting a kick deal and a new boat worth up to $100,000.
I'm going to be able to pay for a boat for you. We're going to get you a nice boat in the range of $50,000 to $100,000. And we're going to get you a full-time kick deal, which is a live streaming deal where you can stream your entire voyages and all your adventures.
Which quickly started to fall apart. Then Joe started claiming that Terrence was keeping his GoFundMe money, about $46,000, which caused Terrence to make a response to Joe's claims.
All right, guys, I just want to get on here to address the Lieutenant Dan GoFundMe situation, as I received numerous death threats and thousands of hate messages and threats to my family, friends, and loved ones. So I just want to get on here and address everything, as this needs to be settled. When I first saw Joe and met him, his boat was being swept under a bridge, and I was walking home from school, and I saw this guy who looked like he needed help. Didn't know his background, didn't know anything about him, so I went up to him, helped him out, and this is how this whole thing started. It wasn't until a week later, after getting to know him, talking to him every day, is when I made the first video calling him Lieutenant Dan before Hurricane Helene came. It was never supposed to be this whole thing, just one funny video that I posted to my TikTok. People then fell in love with Joe after a few interviews and were begging me to make him a GoFundMe, so that is what I did. The GoFundMe was set at $2,500, and all it was to get him a new boat and maybe some money for some food and a scooter for transportation. It was never supposed to get to where it is now. Joe has a bank account, but no identification and no way to get in the bank. I mistakenly put the GoFundMe under my friend's name as a way to get the $2,500 out quick and give it to him and be done with it. I have done all the research and have reached out to Tampa police, who are willing to help Joe get an ID and expedite this process so we can retrieve the other $35,000 in GoFundMe. I have retrieved all the money that was sent to my friend, and I've gotten $7,000 in cash, and which will I be giving to him today. The rest of the money will be sent to Dan as soon as he gets his bank account information set. I'm sad to see where this has all gone to, and I really hope that this can all be resolved and we can all just move on with our lives.
His response makes sense. Why would he just give him all that money in cash? It sounds like a recipe for disaster. Not too long after this, Aiden decided that giving Joe a kick deal would be a terrible idea, and would rather give it to Terrence since he is helping the community in Tampa, which is probably a better idea.
I'm no longer giving Lieutenant Dan a kick deal, but I'm giving the deal to Terrence. Terrence is going to go around Tampa IRL streaming, and he's going to help out homeless people and help out people that are in need. And we're going to give him a budget every day to go IRL stream and give out and bless people. We still want to help Lieutenant Dan, known as Joe, by giving him a boat, but we also want to make sure that he's staying sober and does it the right way. So I'm giving Terrence the deal. Terrence will have the deal. Terrence will be doing IRL streams around Tampa, giving out money and blessing people. I will be featuring a couple of his streams, and it's going to be God's work. So I'm proud of Terrence. Him and I had a really good conversation. He's a very clear-minded person, and I really do like the guy a lot. So him and I will be working together to help people out as well. And again, we're not giving up on Lieutenant Dan. If he wants to help, we'll help him still. But I'm just gonna put the main focus on Terrence having the deal, and that's that. So if you guys are gonna watch Terrence's kick streams of him going around blessing people, put me in the chat. Hope you guys all follow him.
It's kind of messed up though. Aiden offers Joe a kick deal. Then rumors start going around that Aiden pulled out of that deal. Aiden then reassures Joe that he has not pulled out of the deal, but then pulls out of the deal anyway. But it's probably for the best, but still messed up. This is what Aiden thought would be the best move going forward. But now Joe wants to sue Terrence.
Since everybody knows that the GoFundMe page was for me, and that's common knowledge, I'm getting a lawyer involved. Because it came to my attention last night that the way GoFundMe works is once you set it up, people deposit the money into the account, and within 3 days the money is deposited into your account. So Terrence has had my money now since you gave it. I never got it.
All Joe has to do is get an ID and the money's his. He needs to be a bit more patient and get his shit together before he burns all his bridges and lose out on all future opportunities.
Terrence is the real bad guy here in my eyes. He's what he did to me. I'm not some drunk off the street like you portrayed me. Okay? And that'll all come out. Everything will come out in court, because if I don't get the money from Terrence, I'm going to sue him. And any more comments about me, I'm going to start suing people for defamation of character, because now I am a public official. I'm not public, but not that I ever wanted this.
Terrence went well above and beyond for Joe, changing his life overnight. Yet Joe seems to forget that and only cares about the money, even though all he has to do is get an ID to get it. But Terrence responded to Joe after his lawsuit threats.
I don't hate anybody. I don't hate Lieutenant Dan. I wish him all the best. Will I be going over there to talk to him? No, I don't want anything to do with it, but I really wish him all the best. If he wants to sue me, that's great.
I don't think anything Joe has done has helped this situation. At the end of the day, no deal was signed. Aiden got cold feet and backed out. It's a shitty situation, but not the end of the world. I mean, it's not like Joe went back to jail or anything.
Tampa man who went viral for refusing to evacuate his sailboat during Hurricane Milton is now behind bars. Remember this guy, Joseph Malinoisky, also known as Lieutenant Dan, arrested for not complying with the previous court order over an unregistered vehicle and for driving without a valid ID. Earlier this month, Lieutenant Dan had TikTok viewers on edge as he waited for Hurricane Milton to pass through Tampa in hopes he could ride out the storm in his small sailboat. He's right now being held with no bond.
Anyways, I wish nothing but the best for this guy. I know it sounds like I'm shitting on him, and I am. But I really am rooting for the guy. It just seems like he comes with a lot of baggage. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and thanks for watching. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.